music. Way back, ladies and
Music on
gentlemen.
YouTube Music. Here you go.
Wow. Listen, if you missed the part one, rush. Literally rush. And go get it right now. Rush. If you missed part one, it's on my story right now. If you can find it on my story, it'll be on my IGTV. Trust me, you don't want to miss this part one. But before you go, let's do part two. I'll bring in my guest right about now. Fantastic. We got it. Yes, we back, people. All right. Because I know that there's a lot I want you to talk about, and I need to pack this up real. So you were saying, because no sound. Is that you? Can you hear me?
I'm good. I'm good. I can hear you.
All right. Okay, cool. So you were talking about being in London, how you got into the NHS, and you were talking about rearranging their. Well, we'll just start from you getting a 3-week temp job, and then take us through that. So we'll go into it from there.
Yeah. So it was a 3-week temp job that it was a leg in the door, right? So I took it, and that's it. Don't wait for all the big thing. Just that's where I wanted to go anyway. So I took it as a call center agent then. So I saw the way things were running. I said, I can run this department for you. Remember, I have all the skills. I've been leading, hundreds of people before I came to the country. So, and the divisional manager was like, oh, but they said it takes 6 months to learn to do this thing. I said, give me 1 week, I'll run this department.
Wow.
And I looked at it. So I effectively relieved two main people that left. I picked up their job, both of them. I did it perfectly. So the man said, we've been the position of the supervisor for the department has been frozen for 8 months. Said, would you be interested in it?
Wow.
So from being a I told you my dinner has been and the ladies were always saying, oh, but Sheun, you soon be going. You soon be I told her, you guys are jokers, man. Going where?
You didn't want to go back to the train station to talk about hair. So your leg was in this building and wasn't going to go out of it.
Going nowhere. Anyway, so the position was unfrozen and it was advertised. I applied. In fact, they did. I'm not. A lot of them didn't know. They didn't expect me to actually apply. I didn't come here to fancy the
Oh yeah.
So I applied, and from 3 weeks temp, I became the supervisor.
Wow.
In 3 weeks.
Wow.
So I went from level 2 to level 4, 5, and so I stopped being an agent. I became a full staff. It was awesome, but it brought its own challenges because I had to now learn how to live in a different country.
Good, and that leads me to my next question. First of all, it's a and what continues to reverberate through your story is focus, diligence, and almost what the word says about whatever God puts in your hand, you do it like you own it. And that is just literally, and even when things went down, you took it on the chin and I'm just going to own this. Because going back to you learning hairdressing, for the kind of person or the kind of role you had within the banking industry then, that's absolutely a no-no. Nobody does that.
I'm telling you, it was a no-no.
Nobody does that. So for you to keep going, it's okay to even do it for 1 week. Hopefully you just think that this not for you to keep going for 4 months. It's short of amazing, and your mental strength is just ridiculous. So now the story of the normal coming to London, reverberates around, you got to do things to get your feet on the ground. Then when you get
Yeah.
it, but where the problem starts is also because obviously you've come from a different culture, and now you're trying to stamp your feet in terms of letting people know you know what you're about, but they're not
Exactly.
understanding not the politics, but the ethics within the
Yeah.
space you're operating in. Talk us through how you meandered that, because I think that will be quite useful for either someone starting in the game, or someone who's changed profession, or someone who has just got into a new role. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm never ever afraid to learn. So let me tell you, when I got in, there were lots of opportunities to learn within the system, and they were ready to pay for it. So, in fact, it was the NHS that paid for me to become Prince 2 certified.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, because I asked for it. There were so many opportunities to learn, and I was learning. I became, I did ILM, Institute of Leadership and Management. It was paid for by Imperial College, NHS Trust, because I wanted to learn. I knew it was a different system. I knew I needed to know how to do things here. I knew I needed to know how to communicate. I knew that where I was coming from, it was a different thing entirely. Challenging, trust me, it was challenging, because it was a total readjusting. Remember, I came in with them looking down at me as just somebody that was going, and
Yeah.
suddenly I met people that have been there for 15 years, 20 years, 7 years, the least 9 years, that have been in the system. And suddenly this 3 week term that they thought was going now became the leader of the team. And I was managing a team of 9 people.
Wow.
It was a lot of challenge. And there are times that I'll cry to my husband that, oh my God, I feel like, what am I? The pay was good. The pay was good, but the challenge, because they thought I was a bully. There was a time like, oh, because I was used to being fast paced.
Yeah.
I having to slow down for them to catch up was frustrating me. I'd
Hmm.
never worked in the public sector in my life. It's always been private.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Let's get a solution. But this one, you have to do consultation. You have to, God, let's get on with it. So I had to virtually learn to slow down. And that slowing down it started getting to me. It
Hmm.
started getting to me. And I was in the NHS for 19 months, and it got to say I just couldn't take it anymore. So I resigned.
Wow. Okay. Now, that is another moment within your story, because again, there's always a game of survival against,
Yeah.
yes, this is not working, but I've got to survive. And a lot of people are not stuck in that place for forever. Now, other than the obvious fact that you were being frustrated, again, was this an easy decision for you to literally say, guys, I'm walking away? Or did you have another opportunity at the time? Or was it just you walking
No,
back into
no, no. In fact,
nothing?
my divisional manager was like, "Do you have another job?" I said, "No, I'm going to my husband's house." And that was the answer. Because I told my husband, that was when I understand that depression was real.
Hmm.
Now, before, like, I hear about depression, is like it's something that happens to other people. It cannot, because I'm a bubbly person. I'm like, I I'm very, very open doing. I'm still studying. I'm still doing. I'm still a mom. You know, so it was a challenge, because I had challenge with childcare issues, right? Because there was a time I was in faraway West London. My the person I was thinking of my children said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go. Come and take your children." I was 2 hours away.
Wow.
I was 2 hours away. I had left my children with someone that says she doesn't want to take care of them again. So having to travel and know what's going to happen to my baby, that headache. I got back home. God, so I know, ladies, if you're watching me, you're a mother. I know what it takes to be a mom in this country. I know the sacrifices that we have to make. The sacrifice that my husband had, because we were doing tag team, was working night, I was working day. So
Hmm.
someone had to have the children, while he's
Yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah.
while our children were growing up, oh my God, it was challenging. And I was paying more than half of my salary to the person that was taking care of them.
Hmm.
I was like,
Hmm.
I don't know, but I was almost better off staying with them than I was working so hard. And I leave very early because it was 2 hours to work. It was a lot of challenge. You got to a stage I was actually feeling depressed.
Hmm.
That each time I get to work and that voice will be ringing in my head, Sheun, it's time, pack up. Literally, I'll look around like voices in my head. I'm a Christian. I'm still talking, you know. But I think it was time for the next level. And then
Hmm.
when it got to that stage, I just told my husband. I told my husband I was going to resign. He said no. So when I was going to do it, finally when I made up my mind I was going to do it, I didn't tell him.
Hmm.
I just resigned and I called him. Will you hear me? I've dropped in my resignation. Like, shit, why? Did it done?
Oh my God.
That was, yeah, you gave up. I didn't give up.
Hmm.
It was just God was ready. And that was when I left, it was when I went to train as a John Maxwell coach. It was time to do something bigger, right? After that, I wrote my first book. After that, I started looking after my health because now, because of all the stress, I started putting on a lot of weight, from a size 8, 10, I went to only 16. And I understand what people are saying. When you're stressed out, it's easy to put on extra weight. So I started getting overweight. I look in the mirror like, this is not me.
Hmm.
This is not me. I need to do something, but it didn't, it's like you look in the mirror, you look away, you look again. My husband wasn't complaining, so, but later on we say that my husband's not complaining, likes it like this. Come on, let's get on that. When you look good, I was not going to say more.
So you said something which literally struck me in a way, and just right now when you were saying that, it almost felt that you gave up.
Yeah,
Here you are, a force, an energy. You do everything right. You're an epitome of energy. You've never given up on anything. And here you
no,
are. You are literally saying, I'm walking away from this.
I'm walking away.
How did you bounce back? And I know you wanted to do John Maxwell, but again, I just want to keep this story as real as possible, just so people can go into those trenches with you in terms of your story. How then did you literally, from the minute you dropped, and of course you were talking about traces of depression and all of that, to when you picked yourself up, what were the practical things you did just to keep your mental space? Because here you are,
And that was
almost looking at failure for the very first time in terms of what you
yeah,
set out to do. Yeah.
sort of. That was when I started looking after my health. That was when I got into health and wellness.
Hmm.
So now it was no longer about me. I needed to really sort myself out, right? And then when a friend called me and said, "Sheun, oh, I heard about this company that was coming to the UK. You may look at the business." But I'm not looking for business. I need to lose some weight. I don't like what I look like. And I'd already been told I was already, I was overweight. I was already at risk of having diabetes. And I
Wow.
won't be around to be in good health for my children. That's why I came. We gave
Hmm.
everything up to give our children a good life. So I cannot afford to have health issues hold me down.
Hmm.
So that was when I said, okay, I'm not looking for business, but you know what? Sign me up. I would need to lose some weight. Does the product work? Is it work? Great. And that was how I started in health and wellness. So it opened up another door because now I took a step back. I became a health and wellness coach because I needed to coach myself back to my vibrancy, back to look the way I wanted to look, not the way my family looked. Because I come from a obese family. Yeah?
Hmm.
But I made that choice as I was a teenager that I was going to do something. I was not going to be like the others. I'm happy to be the first. I'm happy to
Hmm.
always step out of my comfort zone. I'm happy to be strange.
Hmm.
I'm comfortable to be strange because when you see me around everybody, even my younger one, I'm the oldest, I'm the smallest. And I know that didn't give me too much eye. So they were like, are you the older sister? Yes, I'm the first, right?
Oh my
So I
God.
started working on me. And while I was start working on, people started noticing and start asking me, so what did you use? So it opened up another opportunity to now start a wellness business, right? And so with that I knew, okay, now that's another thing I did. When I started managing, a bigger team, I knew I needed to step up my game to be able to lead them. I knew I needed to invest in my leadership. And I paid the price to go and become a John Maxwell coach. It was a lot of money.
Wow.
Right?
So
at
here,
this point in time, you need to do some learning. You need another network. And so it was a fantastic investment in a good network to learn, to be better.
So here you are again in normal style, turning lemons into lemonade, using that cliche word. Because here you are, you stopped. In fact, if I'm going to put a highlight of your story, you've gone from fufu to moi moi to banking, back to hairdressing, back to Avon. You're a bumblebee. You literally yo-yo. You hit the ground, you're bouncing something else. It's amazing. And of course, now I understand, because of course when you read people's profile and say, oh, they're an author, they're a coach, they're this and that, people take a perception of the fact that you're coming from a corporate point of view, i.e. you're a coach, but you're making money. But your story till now validates why you can stand in those buckets of being an author, of being a coach, of being a speaker, because you've literally gone through all of these highs and lows. And then you can tell, you can tell a whole more relatable story. So I know wellness and all of that has blown up in proportions. You've just gone literally, wow. What did you, before we go into wellness, and then the very interesting part of the politics. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss the concluding part of this. Did you at any point, and this is for me just to say that, just to kind of drain out all the questions around the valley time before you went up the mountain again, did you at any point think that maybe collectively with your lovely husband, shout out to him because he's been a force through your story throughout. So shout out to Stephen. I see you. Did you guys at any point ever think that, you know what, let's pack this up and go back to what we know at home? It won't be too bad to get a job back home. Did it ever occur to you? If it didn't, what was your fence? Because people will talk and, people will always try to advise, it won't be that bad if you go back, you had a good job, you still have your connections. How did you handle that? You never...
No, we didn't give room for that kind of network around us. We made up our mind to come here for a particular reason. Until it is achieved, there is no going back. We're not quitters. The only time I ever quit was when I left the NHS.
God, I think with the NHS thing, God just wanted to make you look human. Like, yo, I gotta test you with some of it.
Okay, you're actually human. The superwoman is actually human. Yeah, that was the time I was like, you know what? This is not working for me.
Yeah, because
I gotta go.
As a coach, when all the stories you tell are the successful ones, and here's that person who is literally, wallowing in failure after failure after failure, there's a disconnect. So I think from your story, it just shows that all of those things built you up to the point where you can, like, again, tell a relatable story. Now, going into wellness, I've dipped in and out in your story here and there, and I know, you're doing mad, crazy stuff, in that section. How has it been? How did you take it from day one to the monster you've built around wellness, and then we'll go into politics? So talk us through this whole wellness thing. Great stuff you're doing, and then we'll go.
For me, I'll say that every single thing I do is always, what platform can I use to help people, right? I've always been a people person, so it's never really about me. It's like, can I make you a better person? Can you come around me and see that? So I started networking, and that's why I really love the industry of network marketing. Why? It focuses on you building you so that you can add value to other people. Because if you don't have it, you can't give it. Do you understand? So being able to network at different levels, because now, okay, like I said, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I can be with the highs, I can be with lows. I have friends that that enjoying being doing the cleaning jobs. I have friends that are doing the security work. I have people that are CEOs. I have multi-millionaires that are my friends. I have politicians. I can relate in all those industries because I've been somewhere around there. I did a cleaning job before I even got into the NHS, right? And when I got there, it was a few months. When I got there, okay, I think that was the second time I quit. Okay, I didn't say that. okay. I quit that over my
Oh
All
my
right, so
God.
the second time I quit, right? That was the first quitting. Right? Because I started that because we needed, quick cash in, and my husband was already now a supervisor, because we had skills before we came. So within 2 months of him taking up a cleaning job at a depot, he actually became a supervisor. So he heard about there was another opportunity. So he said, okay, would you want to, just for us to like gather
Yeah.
cash? And I went to do it. And before I go to any, so that particular time, I did it. But one situation changed everything. And that's why, you mentioned something that some people get into the industry just to get in, just to hold body and soul together, and they get stuck in there.
Yeah.
Now, it could have been my story.
Hmm.
That could have been my story.
Hmm.
Right. So I got there, and it was going well. And each time I'm doing the cleaning, I was at the depot. I'm thinking just to keep my eyes off what was going on. I loved singing, and that took me to X Factor. I actually went for X Factor in 2010.
Hmm.
That's another story entirely, because yeah, my journey has been interesting, very very interesting. So I do that, and there was a particular gentleman who was also from Nigerian descent, was one of the engineers. I'm telling you, if you look at my CV, I'm sure it doesn't have half qualification that I had, but that's what I had to do for now, right? So the other cleaners told me that, oh, this chap, when you greet him, he never responds to you. I said, no, now you cannot do it to me. I'm different, I told him I'm humbling my skin. So this particular day, I was just cleaning. I was cleaning the stairs and just doing the cleaning, and this chap just walked past me, and that was me. Hey, good morning, sir. Blank, no response.
Wow.
Hello, sir. Good morning. No response. I just dropped the mop, and I walked after him. I said, sir, I was saying good morning to you. Say, I heard. I said, oh, it's only courtesy. When somebody says hello, you say hello back. You don't take anything from it.
Wow.
Yeah, I decided, okay, my husband says, I said, you did not give up. You decided to add value to yourself. You are better for it. Yes, baby. I'm better for it. Thank you, baby. That was so. And that day, okay, so I didn't say anything after that. So the second day, the supervisor now called me into the common room. I said, oh, Sheun, you have to be very, very careful. I like the way you work. It seems the management are having issues with your work. You have to do it that because you know what? They're looking at people to lay off. And I don't want it to be you. Jesus. I went into the bath, into the toilet, and I cried like a baby. And I said to the Lord, did you bring me here just to shame me? This is someone that managed the region. I knew how much I was earning as at that period. You have to be at a certain earning level before you can apply for the visa that brought us to this country. We were on top of our game. Translatable any that were like middle or senior management with people that were in the UK. They are going to lay me off on cleaning job. I cried. And I cried. And I called my husband. I said, William, that was the first, I can't do this anymore. That was when I started, that was when I actually went to do my card to start doing the air. Because we needed fast cash. The cleaning job came. I did that for maybe about two or 3 months. But that was a turning point. I called my husband and said, there's got to be another way.
Hmm.
There's got to be another way. I can't do this anymore. He said, Sheun, but I did it. See, it was I just couldn't take it again. I was masking with singing. I was masking with, and the staff said to me that when I came to that place, the atmosphere changed. Now suddenly, there's music, people will come and like, this is the happy woman here, and I got to make amazing connections there. One of them, one of the old men that were engineers, they bought me a CD. I said, your voice sounds like Sam Cooke. You need to listen to this. They picked me up for X Factor from the cleaning job.
Hmm.
One of them had a studio. I went to, that was the first time I ever go to a studio in the UK. It was one of the chats, I think it was a train driver, because it was a train depot. So I had amazing connections in there because I was just doing what I had to do with my heart. So whatever your hands find to do, do it. But I called my husband. I couldn't do it anymore because I was like, God, this chap, if we were to stand head to head, he can't stand in my intelligence.
Hmm.
Lay off a cleaning job. I said, Father, there's going to be another one. So that's what ended up taking me to Avon and hairdressing, to another way to make income without having to do the cleaning job. So it's been a journey. Whoever sees me now, I say, oh, it's been a journey, but I never ever settle. And that's it. Settle. Do what you've got to do while you're preparing for where you're going, because it's going through. But you got to be prepared. You have to be prepared. So I was studying. I was doing courses. I was networking. I was getting to the community. The health awareness got me to the community. I started the community work, and that's things that you do for free. You don't know is building your CV.
Absolutely.
It is build your CV.
So real quick, just so that whoever just jumped on this part of the whole story and you know what? I feel it to my bones when you were talking about, being laid off as a cleaner, coming from where you're coming from. It's beyond, it's almost you scratching the floor and there's nowhere to go other than where you are. Now, let's bust people's brains and let's go from this very depth of where you are. Of this very depth of where you are. And a few years later, you're contesting for the parliamentary position in the same country.
In the same country.
That's just brain busting, as in literally brain busting. But again, perception is reality, some people say, and then when you hear someone's a politician or all of this, you're just thinking, oh yeah, okay, you just want to go sit down and get on TV and, talk policies and all of that. How did you go? And this is us beginning to get to the real peak, and then we'll begin to round up gradually back down. How did you go from being almost laid off as a cleaner? You told us the story of what then happened and transpired, to becoming the first black female to contest for a parliamentary position in Poplar and Limehouse. How did that happen?
Okay, I told you I've always been a people person, and anytime I get into the community, I have a lot of community work I do. I'm passionate about girls. I'm passionate about women. I'm passionate about leadership, right? So my business takes me around a lot of people that have built up the confidence. So, now I started seeing that there's no enough representation of Black people in politics. And especially if we need to make policies, you can only make policies from the place of understanding of situations, right? But if you don't have people that walk in our shoes that make policies in this country, then those policies will never ever solve the issue in our community.
Absolutely.
And the Black and ethnic minority community is growing. In London, we have about 40% plus, right? So in this sort of diverse United Kingdom, we need more representation. We need our children. Now, see, now my children are getting to the secondary school. I'm seeing the issues that are going on around, especially for Black boys, of even Black girls, of representation. And I said, so when I moved to Dartford, I've always supported politicians, just like, because I'm a people person, my age, I know what's going on. So they ask me for ideas, and so I've been involved. So when I go to Dartford and I saw that, so I just, what's going on around here? Who do I need to know? That's me. Who do I need to know? Yeah, seriously. When I get it, who do I need to know? So the mayor, actually the deputy mayor then, because I'm part of the conservative, because I've supported this conservative. I believe in conservative values. And for me, I came to this country to make a better life for my children. So definitely it has to be, you have to think business, you have to think capitalism. It cannot be socialism. You can't get it anywhere, because who's going to pay in if everybody's taking, right?
Yeah.
You've got to think of it. So I was part of a conservative while I was still in Essex in Hornchurch. So when I came here, I only contacted them. Okay, I'm right here. I want to get involved. What do you have? So the deputy mayor actually came. Fantastic woman, Rosanna. So she came to welcome me to that room, and we got talking what I do, especially on leadership and girl leadership. And you know what? You might get involved. So I started asking, we started doing things. So because I've supported them so much and the things I'm doing in the community, so when the opportunity came in 2018, they said, why don't you stand? It was actually the mayor that asked me. She said, we need people that care. We need people that understand. Why don't you stand? So, okay. So I called my husband. I said, they asked me. He said, yeah, now it's just a platform for you to do what you like to do anyways. Might as well. So I put in, I went through the stages. And so I was given an opportunity to stand as a councillor in 2019. So it was a local election, May 2019. And that's my journey. So May 2019, I was given a particular area that I applied for. It was a good campaign. We were swimming against the tide, because that was when the Brexit issue was really big. Theresa May, like we were really losing a lot of ground. But because of who I was, and I was out of the norm. So they started to say there's a Black woman on posters like, oh, where she come from? A Black woman is a conservative. So it was very interesting conversation. We went knocking on every single door. I couldn't believe it. My daughter loves to do that. So we went knocking on doors together. And okay, so the election came and went, and I lost my councillorship seat by just about, it was less than 40 votes.
Wow.
So I didn't get in.
Well, wait, we need to pause there. You lost your councillorship vote, less than 40. This is somebody coming from where you're coming from. That's a win. You can continue.
It's a win, right? And
Absolutely.
exactly what my husband said, it's a win. But you know what? I think that was a learning journey, because God had to take me through some things preparing me for where I was going. Because I didn't know there was going to be an election in 2019, a general election. It wasn't in the offing.
Yeah.
But if I had won to become a councillor, trust me, I'll get to work. I'm not going to see the next opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You'll have been, I'm solving community problem. Yeah, let's go. I always love to solve problems. That's me. So I didn't get my seat, but I won a seat for us, because we were looking for 2 seats, but the Labour Party got the second seat, because it was actually a very Labour stronghold. But breaking in and getting 1 seat there was amazing. And it went to my running partner, amazing woman, Rebecca. Amazing. So now my husband said, okay, what next? I said, I just want to rest. What does it take to be? We need you to make policies in this country. What does it take to be that's where we need you, Sheun. That is where. And let me tell you this, my husband is the engine. That man knows how to push me. He knows I have the energy. He never lets it rest. Sheun, what next? He said, you are the one that was created for this. You gotta go do it.
I celebrate him. I celebrate him.
I celebrate him. Seriously, where I am today is because he was comfortable in his own skin too.
True.
Now, He is the strategist. I am the marketer. we, see me, I see good in everybody. That's me. Because you remember, I've tuned my day. It's a beautiful day. We are beautiful. I don't see anything, but he sees everything. He's like, I'm saying, watch out. He sees a lot. I don't see it.
Hmm.
So I've got to have him as my eyes, because I'm going, when I want to do something, my focus is like this. He's the one that picks up the pieces around.
Yeah.
So I just bless God for you.
He's your binoculars, like, yo.
Yes, for me, I'm like,
Your
oh, this is
GPS.
what I'm doing. But so this is my this is my cut of the pie. What about the other remaining part? So if I'm doing this, is we got to pick this 10%. Who's going to do the 90%? We pick 60, 90%. It does. It picks it 90%.
Yeah.
So when that didn't happen, that's a show. What does it take to become a member of parliament? Because that's what we need. I said, come on, we just finished election. Let me rest. Say, no, Sheun, there's no rest. So, and like I always say, there's always a learning for the next journey. For you to go to the next level, you've got it. You've got it. So I started requesting, what does it take? I requested from my party, oh, this is what you need and all of that. And then I discovered this amazing organization called Operation Black Bolt. And suddenly things started happening. I saw a training program that gives me an opportunity to be mentored by a member of parliament to see what goes on in the parliament. So I went through that 7-month mentorship scheme. While I was going there, then suddenly Oxford University created a course in conjunction with the House of Commons and Operation Black Bolt called Pathway to Success. Now, it has been my dream to actually do Oxford in 2019. This year, Oxford must be on my CV. I didn't have the dime to do it, but it was on my vision board. I didn't know it was going to come. I didn't know. I'm going to go to Oxford University. It's got to be on my TV. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I didn't have the money, but I knew I had a dream. And suddenly, that was fashioned out. And the criteria is you are ready to go to contest as a member of parliament, and you're ready within the next 12 months. So it was not middle management, it was senior management. So we have head of parastatals, we have mayors, we have deputy mayors, we have people that are already councillors. And so it was 15 women, 15 men from the Black and ethnic minority. And this is an initiative to really, we need to address representation at the Commons. So the House of Commons, they're really working hard to make sure that we have diversity. And the Conservative is a part of that. So I went in for that course in Oxford University, fully sponsored by Lord's Bank. It was fully sponsored. I didn't pay a dime. Oh, it was beautiful. Now, suddenly, I am an Oxford graduate, guy. It didn't cost me a dime. Fully, well, what that does for me was prepared me. All what we need to put the team together, the campaign, the funding, all of everything. Focus. How do you relate it with White Owl, with the White Owl, which is the public sector arm of, you have politicians, you have people that are actually like career administrators. How do you relate? How do we make policies work? All of that. So I was coming in from campaigning, from being a councillor in May, to going on to get mentored as a member of parliament, to September, I was in University of Oxford getting trained, like they're opening up our brain. This is what it takes to become a member of parliament, and then suddenly election came along. I was ready.
Wow. You are describing a movie.
What?
You're describing a movie right now. It's just...
I was ready. There is always a learning. I'm ready to put in the work. I'm ready to step into any shoes, because I know every single level requires something.
Yeah.
When you give it what it requires, the door opens. And so all of the things that I have to do, and now to go and stand at the center of the financial heart of the United Kingdom, or financial heart of the world, because I stood for Canary Wharf. So it's yeah, a real movie. So when I got in, and so anytime I'm going to campaigning, when we had just 30 days to campaign.
Wow.
So from the time I got on the list to stand as the first conservative Black woman for that area, and they saw my like, you conservative Black woman, how did I have a very fantastic conversation starter?
Very different.
And all the input was so different. And I have my story that, guys, I understand what you're going through because I have been there. I have been high, I've been low, I have understood all the emotions. And when we're going to be doing things, I'm coming from a position of not just a politician, but I'm a mom.
Yeah.
I'm a woman that had to push through and find no excuses. So you not prospering, you were born in this country, from talking out loud. I've only spent 9 years in the country. But those 9 years were 9 years of growing through. So I could relate. So Inter, when we go for the interview, we go for the Austins, it was always very interesting because I'm not coming in from a position of, oh, we did. I'm coming with my story because my story connects.
True. Absolutely.
Yes, I did a lot of personal book studies because my husband went to now go and get book on policy, book on to remember parliament, book on come and see my house. I was studying like mad. In between campaigning, I was studying, I was going on media, all the media appearances I did, like there was no time to take a breath. My husband was picking the pieces around me. And then to now end up, the poll said that Conservative was going to come third in that area because it has always been a labor struggle. It came second.
Wow.
From an unknown person to having over 9,756 people vote for someone that only got introduced to them 30 days. It was amazing.
That's a win. That's a win in any book.
That's a win.
Wow.
So we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again.
Hell yeah.
We're going to do it again.
Hell yeah.
We're going to do it again.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be a win this time around because I'm going to say again, and I'm speaking for all races, success has a face, right? And when we don't see enough of each faces being represented as success, children fall into that way of saying, oh, it's only people like this that they, no, guys. I have broken all of those because it's not just anybody. You have to be in this. You have to go to. I didn't go to any private school. Okay, yes, I went to Oxford. Yeah, I'm an Oxford alumni. Yeah.
You're an Oxford alumnus now.
And it's good. And when I look at my card with pride, that we did it, man. Yeah. We did
it. I thought you looked familiar right from the word go because I know where I saw you first. Because I was in Harvard, and then I came to Oxford for just a year.
Yeah, training. And it was at Oxford Union. Actually, we had amazing debates in there.
Absolutely, wow.
So it's been a journey, and this is my word to everybody. Don't box yourself. My book, you need to read my book, Super God, Superwoman: The Ultimate Guide to Female Leadership. That it covers some of my stories, right? Absolutely. And it covers some of the amazing stories of women that push through against all odds. Nothing should stop you. And SUPER is an acronym. It says sensitive, undeterred, proactive, elegant, replicator. Sensitive, you must understand that you must care about outcomes. For me, whatever I do, it's because I care. I really, really care. And all our politicians must get to that stage that it's not about the name, right? It's not about the name. I'd love to become a member. I'm going to become a member of parliament in the UK. It is given.
Absolutely.
I'm going there not because I want the name. I'm going there because it makes me, one, representation for people like us. Two, to be able to bring policies that really touch some communities that will never ever be touched. The issues that are going on around Black Lives Matter is because they don't just understand, and they need to have people there that understand. We can bring in to be able to solve these social issues from the position of people that understand what it feels like to be racially profiled. And okay, there was a particular email that somebody sent to me last night of election, before election. My husband deleted it. It was horrible. It was horrible. I don't want to remember it. My husband says, Sheun, you don't want to dwell on this. Just delete. So my husband deleted that. Sheun, don't even let it enter. Because there was a lot of work fighting for people. People normally that they don't ever think, say, oh, conservative is not for us. But suddenly saw somebody that really cares and said, so conservative is actually for us. A lot of people came in to become conservative because they saw me. Suddenly somebody that can relate. Somebody that has a story. Somebody that's been there. I've been there, I've done that. So you want to be high, I've been high. You want to be low, I've been low. So I understand from every angle. And how would you know your politician to actually understand and be able to feel? And that's what makes me a great politician. Yes, I care.
You know what? I'm not a man that is short of words, but all I could just say now is, if I was a movie producer, you just gave me a free story plot.
Yeah, just make sure you have to pay for it. It's not about your number, because if I see my story anywhere without me, you are in big trouble. So yes, I'm open. Let's come and discuss with me. I'm happy to sign if the money is good enough. Yeah, the story needs to be told.
You know what? Because I can only
the
say
making,
wow. Yeah.
The making of a Nigerian British member of parliament.
You see? In fact, you've done all the work already. We just put the poster.
That's the poster.
You know, your story is
yes, baby. Yes.
Your story is wow, but beyond that, it's the one link that has gone through everything is the gift of you not just realizing there's a gap, the gift of you acting on the gap. And secondly, you always come from a caring point of view. You went into
it was direct the movie.
You see? All we need is investors now.
That's my project manager there.
So all we need is investors now, and you'll be on billboards. But you know what? Who says you can't even be on billboards for that? But I'll leave that. You've come from a place of care. Even in the lows of your story, remember I asked you a question that when you stood at the train station telling people about hair, how did you, and all you said to me was, I got kids to feed. And that says to me, that's care. And that seems to be the bedrock. And you've even taken that into politics. And it all looks like everything that looks like a down in one season was literally getting you back to take you up to the next season. The normal question I will ask to finally round this up is, what's your happily ever after? But I think I can answer that. I can answer a part of that for you, because you're going to sit as an MP right there. And I say that because, and I think talking to you this evening has also kind of confirmed why I wanted to do this, because a lot of people do not get the opportunity to see the title from this perspective. They just see, oh yeah, she's a black woman, or blah blah blah. She's just riding on whatever. She's just, she looks nice. She looks like she's never seen what we've gone through. But here you are, So for me, I'm a supporter of you in whatever you want to become, because I know you care. And the way I know is because you've told your story. Like you said, your campaign was your story. So I know you're going to be sat there because God hasn't taken you through all of that. And there's a whole lot of people who's gone through what you have, literally gone through and surmounted to come out to say that, you know what, I can. Beyond politics, beyond, you know, the great things you've done, what does your happily ever after, because you're a force of energy, what is that picture of rest for you? What
For me,
does it
for
look
me,
like?
yeah, for me, it's gonna be me and my husband traveling the world doing charities and just blessing people. You know, he said to me one day, he said, Sheun, very, very soon we will get into a country and they're gonna stop and say, the Okes are here because of what we carry. Right? We are training our children, and so part of what I'm looking at is them, you know, being entrepreneurs. I'm not I'm not selling to them to go and get a job because it's not getting our community anywhere.
Hmm.
They've got to be solutions. They've got to. So I'm telling them, think now. What is the problem in the world? What do you need to solve? Start thinking that way because when you solve a lot of problems, money follows it.
Hmm.
Money follows value. Money always follows value. So you see my daughter say, oh, mom, I want to do your hair. I'm saying, okay, is it scalable? Okay. How many people can you do nails for? So look at the sort of conversations we're having. Oh, mom, I want to do slide fine. Where do you what? Who's your target market? This sort of conversation we're having at home. My son, like, if you, okay, you want to own, you want to play football, good. If someone doesn't own it, you're having issues as black players because my second son has had issues in this country where he has played for different teams and they will use him to qualify for the next level. And by the time they're in the next level, they bring another kid that cannot play half as a player. So I'm saying to them, if this is a continuous issue with black boys in this and you guys are good, then maybe somebody needs to win a club. Maybe you're thinking that way. Maybe you're going to. So I'm saying we have to start teaching our children like that so that they are looking for solutions, that they are not trying to be part of the workforce. Let's get them to be visionaries. Let them have a vision because every single product they have there is someone's vision that they will employ others to build the vision. So let's build the vision. So I want to see them grow. I want to see them, you know, having their own empires, the Oke empire. So I call them Oke billionaires. I'm saying to them that there's nothing that works than the principles of the gospel. Faith works. And the Bible says that without faith, it is impossible to please God. The principles of faith will work. The principles of seed time and harvest time never fails. It never fails. So that's what I see. That's me preaching the gospel all over the place. That's me representing, you know, the Lord wherever He wants me to. And this is why I say to the Lord, you know, when you trust me with this, you know, you can always trust me. You know, when I get there, you can trust me to do the best. So when you're sending me in, have a rest assured. And one of the things I did when I was in the bank sector, I started a music jamboree in my branch. Every month, I invite musicians to come to my branch. We'll groove, you know, groove. And that opened up a lot of clientele for us because it is God-fearing. I'm where I am because the Lord helped me. I'm a hard worker, but God gave me grace.
Wow.
Wherever I am, I represent the kingdom. I am unapologetically a Jesus girl. I preach the gospel at wherever I can stand, you know, wherever. Because like I said, I'm comfortable in my own king. I don't need you to validate me. I've been validated by heaven because I am a king and I'm a priest. I'm the child of the king. And wherever I hear, okay, she's here. Yes, I'm in, she will come in the house. I can't be hidden because the Bible says a city set upon the hill can never ever be hidden. So I invest in the process. I learn what I need to learn. Wherever I do, I cannot be average because it is impossible. The Bible says, whatever your hands find to do it with everything. So I don't play small. I don't do average. If I say I'm doing it, it's gonna get done, and it's gonna get done well.
You know
so
what?
that's what I think. Yeah, let's we need representation. We do.
You know what? You are a force. Again, a confirmed force. And I think that the world needs you. Definitely, the UK needs hearts like yours to sit in places of power and policy, defining policies from a place of care. rather than a place of economics or just politicking. So for that reason, yeah, for that reason, you're neither there, and I know you're gonna sit there.
You will come and campaign when I'm campaigning.
You just want another supporter. So yeah, we'll talk a lot more about that behind the scenes. But yes, I am happy to make this dream come true in any small way I can. Because I know you care, and because I can relate with your story, and I know that the world needs a whole lot more people like you, a lot more people with the kind of heart you're bringing to the space. And I know that your heart hasn't been created just from books. It's been created from experience, from grace, and from hard work. So, there are people that you open doors for, and you can't vouch for what they do with the open doors. Because I was saying to someone, I said, Black Lives Matters and all of that. Naturally, some privilege is going to come with that, because people will want to be politically correct around you. They want to be seen as diversified and all of that. But the question is, what are we going to do with this new privilege? Are you going to insult it with, mediocrity? Or, I would rather, and I was saying this to the person, would you rather be employed because you're Black, or you're employed because you do the work? So that is the train of thought. And those are the kind, and I think you're the kind of leaders that can literally, because now is a very defining time where we take that narrative in a whole new way. If we mess it up, the world and media will make it weak. The chance was there, but it was messed up.
Yeah. So we're gonna do it.
Sorry?
We need. I said we're gonna. You didn't talk about my hair.
Everybody
So
said
I'm natural now, because we need. See, representation is everything. Okay, my daughter is a beautiful Black Nigerian British girl, right? And they've got to be able to see that and be comfortable in being that without being looked down because of the skin, because it is happening, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
When you talk about racism in the UK, it's like, oh no, but we know it's there. It's an energy, you feel it, right? And like you said, I don't want my children to be given chances because they're Blacks. I want to, because but then I don't want them to have to overprove themselves with the white counterparts. We have to do. Let us just take everybody, because they are more than qualified to do it.
Absolutely.
So there's all little narratives going on there. But this one I want to encourage all of you guys, as we're wrapping this up now. See, whatever you're going through, go through. It may be preparing for the next level. Now, don't get stuck in the rut. Always have a clear vision. Now, Yeti was asking, my next event is going to come up. I've not set a date, because we need to look at all this, the coronavirus and presentations, and maybe it's going to be online or whatever. Becoming a person of influence is important. There is a strategy to it. Becoming the CEO of your life is the one thing I'm really passionate to help you be the best version of you, because you got it. Who is holding your remote control? Who is controlling you? Are you controlling your destiny? Somebody is pushing here and there. Wherever I am at, aside from my husband, that we are like, I know where I'm going. I have defined it.
So Instagram is keeping us at 1 minute 50 seconds. So you can go on for the next 50 seconds, and then I'll wrap up.
So here is what I want you to do. You want to know more about what I do, please, and I have offers I'm going to be giving to everybody that's watching this. So send me Lord Bionic. So just Lord Bionic. Send it to +44 7411857200, and I'll give you some fantastic offer that we'll talk about. Coaching is important. I pay my coaches, right? And that's helped me a lot. And mentorship is good. It takes you further, faster. So send Lord Bionic, text it to +44 7411857200, and I'll unlock a fantastic one for you. But
fantastic.
don't stop.
Fantastic.
Be the best version of you.
I cannot thank you enough, guys. The story, this is going to be on my story for 24 hours. So go back to it, and you get the number again on there, and you can literally DM at Sheun Oke, SHU. I'll put that up, SHEUN. Okay, and
The
then you
offer
get that.
not unique.
I cannot thank you enough. You've been amazing. I've got 35 seconds.